Most people don't struggle to get in shape because they lack willpower. They struggle because they're being asked to do too much, too soon, all at once. Training plans, meal plans, cardio schedules, lifestyle rules, everything is bundled together and dropped on you from day one. And when you can't sustain it, you're told the problem is discipline. But discipline isn't the problem. Complexity is. In this video, I want to show you why most transformation programs are over-engineered, restrictive, and badly designed, and how real simplicity comes from breaking body transformation down into small, manageable pieces, tackled one at a time, in the right order. This is the simplicity behind the ONE35 Body System. Most fitness programs make the same fundamental mistake. They treat getting fit as one single challenge. In reality, it's made up of several different elements, each with a very different level of difficulty. Instead of separating those elements, most programs throw them all together and start you off with what is actually the hardest behavior change of all: living healthy. They ask you to overhaul your diet, fix your sleep, manage stress, train multiple times a week, add cardio, cut foods, track calories, all at the same time. That's not discipline, that's overload. And here's the key point. These elements are not dependent on each other, yet most programs treat them as if they are. When you start with the hardest behaviors first, you almost guarantee failure, especially if you're busy, stressed, and juggling real responsibilities. This is where my background becomes relevant. I've spent over 20 years working in user-centered design, designing systems that real people actually use in the real world. I've worked for all these big brands and many more. I've written a book on simplicity and design. I'm a customer experience and service design coach. And for the last 9 years, I've been a judge and now head judge at the UK Customer Experience Awards. You may have experienced one of my designs yourself. During the pandemic, I was responsible for making sure picking up a test kit from pharmacies across England was as simple as possible. So if you found that simple, then you'll definitely find my ONE35 Body System simple too. My job has always been the same. Take complex systems and make them usable under real-world pressure. Fitness, in my view, has a design problem, not a motivation problem. The way I approach body transformation is very different. I break down everything into separate bite-sized modules, tackled one at a time in the correct order of difficulty. I call this body by numbers, like paint by numbers. You don't guess what to do next, you follow the sequence. There are 5 elements to long-term transformation, and they are tackled from the simplest to the hardest. So let's take a look at the term getting into shape. You see, getting into shape is actually multiple things at the same time. You've got being fit, dropping fat, getting strong, building muscle, and living healthy. And normal fitness programs provided to you via the fitness industry bundle them all up into one single program that they want you to do right from the get-go. But the reality is these are separate, independent entities that are best tackled one at a time. So in my ONE35 Body System, you only start off with one of them, and until you've managed and mastered that, do you incorporate and add on the second part of that system so that you're building habits one step at a time. So let's take a look at the ONE35 Body System and how we break these down into their own unique separate elements. So in the 135 body system, we break them down into 6 individual parts. The first of those is start right. Now, this is a problem I see all the time. When people want to get into shape, they put these grand, ambitious goals that are so big, they don't know where to start. So they don't start, and they start procrastinating and putting it off, or saying them to themselves, oh, I'll start it after I finish this thing I'm doing now. Or I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next week, I'll do it in the new year. And it never gets round to getting done. So what I do with my clients is I give them the Gains Goals Guide, where we break down an ambitious 12-week goal into tangible, timed, practical goals that they're hitting on a daily basis. So what they find is that as they're hitting goals on a daily basis, goal by goal, day by day, when they get to the end of that 12-week program, they find that even outsurpass that ambitious 12-week goal, because a goal a day keeps the dream in play. And step number 2, grow muscle. Grow muscle. Now, most people, when they think about getting into shape, the first thing they think about is probably losing fat. But the reality is, putting on muscle is actually the easiest step to take. And in my view, the correct next step to take. The reason for that is putting on muscle is actually the simplest thing to do. Because what you need to do is train and then supplement your training with the correct nutrients and proteins. But here's the problem I see. Traditional programs provided by the fitness industry, they want you to train 3 to 5 days a week. Now, you might have the time and energy for that at the beginning of a transformation program, but when life gets busy, when life throws its spanners at you and you miss one training session becomes another training session, becomes a week, becomes another failed training program. So what I give my clients is the muscle making multiplier. Now, in the muscle making multiplier, you only need to train once a week for 35 minutes. So it's the most practical, effective, and efficient training system on the planet. It's the most practical because you only need to train once a week, and you have your training kit with you, which means you never need to go to the gym again, and you train in the comfort of your own home. Or if you want, you can train outside in the park. I love training in the garden. Or if you do need to travel for work or for pleasure, you can take your training kit with you or training equipment with you and train in your hotel room. So you never miss a training session again. It's the most efficient because you only need to train once a week, not 3 times or 5 times a week. And it's the most effective because it is the best training system, in my view, that puts on more muscle in the shortest time possible. So with the muscle making multiplier, you never ever miss a training session again. Step number 3, burn fat. Burn fat. Now, what I see with programs provided by the fitness industry from the traditional methods, in order to burn fat, they want you to do 2 things. The first of those is to calorie count and restrict your diet to such an extent that you're doing these crazy diets, which you may be losing a lot of weight in the, in the period that you're doing it, but it's unsustainable. And people always tell me about these diets that they're doing and how much weight they lost. And then I always ask them, and then what happened? Because then what happened is that they couldn't sustain those diets and those meal plans, and they just reverted back to what they were before. Even worse, they even get bigger or put on more fat than they had in the first place, because those diets were just simply unsustainable. And the other thing they want you to do is they want you to do copious amounts of cardio, jogging every day or 5 days a week, which is just too much strain, especially on busy people like you. So you might lose weight in a short period of time, but you end up putting all that weight back on. So that's why I give my clients the fat burning blueprint, which is a simple meal plan structured around how you, a visual structure of the plate, where it tells you what macronutrients to have, how to have them, and when to have them. It's so super simple. There's no prescriptive diet or meal plans you need to do. It's just a simple guide to how to structure your meals each day by the right quantity at the right time. And instead of getting you to do jogging 5 days a week or spinning or cardio, you do a simple progressive walking plan that burns off the fat that you can do anywhere, in any attire, at any time, even when you're working. So you can actually walk and work. So with the fat burning blueprint, you're melting fat off your body in the simplest way possible. Step number 4, get strong. Get strong. Now, if you want to get strong using traditional training programs provided to you by PTs or the fitness industry, they want you to be lifting heavy weights at sometimes fast speeds. Now, that may be easy or less strenuous when you're younger, but when you're 30 plus, 40 plus, or 50 plus, that extra weight and extra strain on your body and on your muscles and on your tendons is a sure path to injury. So that's why I give my clients the super strong strategy, where you're doing the same training that you did to put on muscle, but now I help you to increase the intensity and increase the resistance to increase your strength. So you're not taking any extra time out of your diary. It's the same 35 minutes a week, but you're increasing your strength by increasing your resistance and your power. So with the super strong strategy, you're becoming a super powerhouse. Step number 5, be fit. Be fit. Now, as mentioned, traditional training programs provided to you by the fitness industry, they want you to go out and cardio and count how fast you're doing your runs each and every time so that you can beat your personal best, which is time consuming, strenuous on your joints, and really and truly and honestly, have you ever seen a jogger smiling? It's not that fun. The fun part is when you finish. So this makes it extremely difficult to maintain when you're not enjoying what you're doing and you have to take extra time out of your diary. So I give my clients the Fit Forever formula, where instead of doing cardio, I get them to focus on sports and activities where they can increase their fitness in those sports and activities. So they're enjoying it. It's not a chore. It's not something extra out of the diary. A lot of times it's the highlight of the week. One of my clients, for example, loves badminton, and he's increased and improved his badminton through the program. And badminton is one of the highlights of his week. So with the Fit Forever formula, instead of taking time out of your diary, you've got activities which are the highlights of your diary. And step number 6, live healthy. Live healthy. Now, traditional programs, they want you to eat healthily and live healthily from day 1, which is extremely difficult to do when you don't yet have the physical and mental strength to do it. So what ends up happening is that maybe you you end up having a piece of cake. You miss a training session, you miss a cardio session. And that gives you so much guilt that a lot of times you throw in the whole training program and it becomes another failed attempt to get into shape. So what I do, I give my clients the Health is Wealth Accelerator, where after they've built their mental and physical strength, we start to introduce healthy elements into their lives and into their diets. One little ingredient or one little step at a time. Because getting into shape or living healthy is actually a lifelong journey. So you have to think about in the long game. So we increase and introduce these healthy elements one step at a time. One step becomes a large step, becomes a lifelong journey of living healthy. And as I always say, your health is your wealth. So with the Health is Wealth Accelerator, you're not only improving your health, you're also improving your wealth. So these are the 6 steps of the ONE35 Body System, and I've broken it down into steps of what you need to do, what you need to eat, and how you need to sleep on a phase-by-phase basis. And as you can see, Gains Goals Guide is at the bottom, Health is Wealth is Accelerator is at the top, because we're building a building. Building a building one step at a time, one brick at a time, improving each layer, making sure each layer is solid and sound before we move on to the next layer. And it's so super simple. And to guide you along the way, you get a journal that helps you journal and tells you what to do each and every day. And we break everything down every day, step by step, what to do, what your doing activities are, what your eating activities are, and what your sleeping activities are. It's so super simple. Because think about it. How a baby learns to walk. No baby stands up on day one and starts running. First, they learn to sit upright, then they learn to balance, then they pull themselves up, then they take a step, and then another. And every single one of those stages matters. No parent skips them. No parent says, right, you should be walking by now. Let's add some cardio. We understand instinctively that learning happens in phases. We don't rush it. We don't overload it. And we don't shame the child for not being further along. But when it comes to adults and fitness, we do the opposite. We expect people to run before they can stand. We throw every behavior at them once and call it discipline when they fail. The body doesn't learn that way. Humans don't learn that way. Real progress comes from mastering one phase before moving to the next. That's why the ONE35 system is built in stages, from the simplest to the hardest, because phases aren't a compromise. They're how humans learn. Let's take a look at Peter, who's a busy entrepreneur. When he first came to me, he wasn't unmotivated. He was overwhelmed. His business took up all his time and he found it difficult to find time for his fitness. But once we broke the system down, one module at a time, something changed. He stopped feeling behind. He started seeing progress. And when progress became visible, momentum took over. You see, this is what simplicity does when it's properly designed. If this way of thinking resonates, I go much deeper into this in my newsletter. That's where I break each module down and show you how to apply it in real life, step by step. You can sign up using the link below. You see, simplicity isn't about doing less. It's about doing the right thing in the right order. When progress becomes visible, something powerful happens. Success breeds success. In the next episode, I'm going to talk about longevity, because getting into shape is one challenge. Staying in shape for life is a very different one.